to show you the first project that I have done ever since I started this course. My project is a pyramid in ancient Egypt, as you can see from this picture. Do you have any questions?
Where did you get the idea?
I got the picture of the pyramid from the internet. I stuck it onto Photoshop. I drew it using the triangular method. I shaded it using black and white, and then I colored it using the paintbrush, and I got the color from the picture. I have made this using the light source. As you can see from here, this part is bright because the sun is shining, but these parts here are not dark because the sun is not shining there. So I colored it based on the light source.
All right.
What's your most favorite part in there?
My most favorite part is the desert.
Why?
I got the picture of the desert from the internet. I stuck it onto Photoshop. I shaded using black and white, and then I colored it using the paintbrush, and I used the same method called light source to do it. As you can see here, it's bright because of the sun, but here it's not bright because it's dark, because the sun is not shining there. That's what I know about light source. The place where it's dark is called shadow, and the place where it shines is called the light source. Next question.
Tell us something about how you were able to reach this final project. Can you show us some of your assignments or some of the drawings that you have done during this particular module?
Okay.
And explain to us.
I'm going to show you 5 objects that I made in addition to this project. The 5 objects I have made are a chair, a glass of water, a beach ball, a radio, and a tray of food. Yeah. I made these 5 objects using the paintbrush. First I drew them using the paintbrush. Then for each of them I chose the best colors. Same for the chair, I used the paintbrush to sketch it out. And then I colored it using different colors. And I chose my colors carefully. And as you can see, I've added a background behind the chair.
Alright. So what is your learning here, Rudy, for this particular module? Module specific. What do you think have you learned?
I have learned how to sketch out the object carefully using the paintbrush, and to draw the lines properly so that they don't go out of bounds. And I've also learned how to consider the choice of my colors carefully for them.
Alright. And then the light source you were saying earlier?
For this one, I didn't use light source.
Okay. I mean, during this particular module, you've had 10 sessions, right?
I only used the light source for the project for the pyramid.
Okay, but have you had any practice sessions for that light source?
I can't say I have, but actually here there was one light source. As you can see from the glass of water, I've drawn a white line to show that it's a light source. This is a glass of water on a table, and behind is the background, and the brown thing is the floor.
Okay.
I drew the glass using the paintbrush, and I drew it carefully, and I used different colors. The blue is the water, and that light blue is the water. Is the top of the water.
Top of the water. Okay. My question to you is, in these 10 sessions, right? These are some of the assignments that you've done. For your final project, how many hours or how many sessions did you consume to finish that final project?
It took me about 4 days to. It took me about 5 days to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It took me first 3 days to get the picture onto Photoshop, and to trace the pyramid using the triangular method, and for the desert as well to shade it using black and white. Then it took me another 3 days to make the sky, to shade it using black and white, and then to color it using the paintbrush. And then it took me 1 day to do the camel.
Zaki, can you zoom, please? I want to see the details.
Oh, nice.
It didn't work.
Yes.
Alright.
Oh, yeah. What is your computer?
You don't know how to do it?
No, really.
Can you zoom into the camera?
Okay.
Just zoom in a little bit, Zaki. Is that better?
Wow.
Where did you get the image of this?
I got this picture from the internet. I stuck it on Photoshop. Then I traced it with the paintbrush. I shaded using black and white, and then I colored it based on the picture I got from the internet.
Yesterday you encountered a problem where you cannot remove the white background, right? What are the steps?
There was one way I could do it. The method I used was to delete the layer which I got it. Then I stuck the camel on using the proper method, which is Control A, then Control Shift C, and then finally Control V to put it inside here. And that way it didn't give me any problems.
Yeah.
Because I only got the white background because I didn't press Control Shift C. I only pressed Control C. I didn't press Shift. That's why I got the white background.
Okay. Can you zoom out now, Zaki?
As you can see, this
Sorry.
candle is very small because it cannot be big as the pyramid.
Exactly.
It's
That
bigger.
is perfect. That is my question now. This course. Sorry. This module, Zaki, is perspective and.
This one a perspective.
This is not perspective. This is
Essentially object.
sketching.
Sketching object, yeah.
My sketching object, and this is fantastic. You know, I think you have a very good ratio between the camel and the pyramid, but I don't know. I'm not so sure about the distance from where I'm standing when I'm looking at this portrait.
Usually the camel cannot be close to the pyramid because it may be too hot over there. So it has to be in a place where it's not so hot.
Alright. Is there anything that you wanted to add given the time? Is there anything that you want to add in this portrait or this?
I don't think there's anything to add, just that I can say that it's a desert because of the sand and because of the sky. So I think it looks fine. And as you can see in that white cloud up there, that's like the sun.
Would you like to add, let's say, an Egyptian guy who's guiding the camel?
They're usually in a picture like this, there doesn't have to be people. It can just be camels.
So that's your initial idea.
Yeah.
No.
When I was thinking about adding pictures to this to signify it as a desert, I came up with many ideas. I was considering putting birds in the sky. Then I considered putting people until finally I came up with the idea to just put a camel to signify it as a desert. I didn't consider putting birds because it was just not possible.
What I admire, Rudy, is your color selection. Even on your 5 last images, I could see that the way you choose your color is really good. You have an eye for this.
It's true, but to make the sky, I first shaded it using black and white. Then I colored it using the paintbrush. And to make the clouds, I used the paintbrush. But I had to use a softer brush for the clouds.
All right. One last question on my end, Rudy. If, say, for example, thinking that you're not the one who drew this, how would you appreciate? How do you find this particular drawing right now in front of you? Thinking that you're not the one who drew it, how would you find it?
I think I would find it very interesting.
Even I looking at it finds it interesting. It's simple, but it brings message, calmness, and all.
It
Right?
does. I initially was considering to draw it out with the paintbrush, but that would have been too difficult. So I just stuck the picture from the internet onto here. Then I used the triangular method to make this. I shaded using black and white, and then I used the colors from that picture to put it on this.
All right. I think this is a very good start. Sure.
If you got a minute, I can show you what it looked like when it was black and white.
No problem. No problem.
Can you find the black and white, please, Saki? I'd like you to, okay, this is what it looked like initially. That's the picture I got initially. This is how it looked initially. It was from the internet. I stuck it onto here. Then I did this.
All right.
That's the first step. Then slowly I started adding color to the pyramid.
Do you still have the line art that you do?
I used the triangular method to make
Yeah.
it.
Where's the you already been over it, is it?
Yeah, I had painted over it initially.
How many layers are there?
left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Um,
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So as you can see, this is what it looked like initially. It was like this. Then I shaded it. Then I slowly started to color it by using everything from the picture. But I had to do it carefully depending on the light source.
Right.
All right. Okay, and your light source is coming from where?
It's usually coming from the sun.
From where?
From the
It's
From where?
The sun located?
The sun
Where?
is located up there. It's
Upper
shining-
right, upper left,
Yeah, somewhere up there. Yeah, right. Somewhere up there is the sun.
upper right hand, right?
It's like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we could say the sun is shining from this side.
no.
No, it cannot be from the left. It should always it is only from the right, I suppose.
So probably this is the cloud covering the sun.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the clouds covering the sun, and there it's not so dark, but here it's bright because of the sun.
All right.
Now about the camel looks okay, but it wouldn't have to be so near the pyramid.
Right.
I was considering to make the camel a bit big, but I don't know if that was possible. I was thinking about making the camel big.
It's just
Okay, now I'm going to show you the 5 objects. The chair.
The chairs.
As you can see, I made this chair using the paintbrush, and then I chose my colors carefully, and I just added different layers for the chair to make it look like a proper chair. And behind it, I put a background. This is the floor. That's the wall. Glass of water, I did the same. I used the paintbrush to draw it out. Then I chose my colors carefully.
But the problem with the glasses, you draw the glass first, then you start to draw the table.
that's why it looks bigger.
Right.
Actually, I wanted to make it bigger.
Right.
Then the beach ball. To make this beach ball, I used a different method. I used the circular method to draw this ball.
How do you do the circular method?
You have to find the circular method.
This one, right?
Yeah, that's the circular method. I used the circular method to draw the ball out. Then I added different layers to it, and then I chose my colors for it. Those 3 parts of the ball are white. The others are red, white, yellow, and blue. And behind it is a background.
Right.
Then the tray of food.
3 of 4, okay.
As you can see, this is a tray of food, and as you can see, I drew the tray using the paintbrush, and I added different foods to it.
What are those vegetables or foods?
Yeah, broccoli, carrot, apple, banana, 2 more broccolis, potatoes, and fish. And as you can see, I put a background. This is the floor. This is not like grass because it's not in a park. But that could be because of the sun.
Okay.
And behind there are trees to show that it's a park.
So the thing is that this point you haven't learned any perspective here, right?
Not really.
Yes. Okay.
So, are there any changes I should do about those trees?
Yes. Even the perspective.
And the placement, I believe, of the tray.
Yeah.
The
Actually-
placement of the tray is like facing us, so all those fruits and all will be. So I think it should be in a diagonal.
Yeah.
But I think this one is one of your first assignments, Rudy. Is this one of your few first assignments?
This is one of the assignments I did before I did the final project.
Oh, is it?
So this is all at home, is it?
I did this at home.
All right.
It took me about, for each object, it took me about 1 hour to do it.
Right.
Wow.
I only did the final project last week. Before that, I did the chair on Monday, glass of water Tuesday, radio Wednesday, tray of food Thursday, beach ball Friday.
Because you know what, in your final project, you can see that the angle, the positioning is perfect already.
I see. Now the radio.
Yes.
The radio. As you can see, this is a radio, and I've drawn something below it. And
Cabinet.
it's on a cabinet because a radio is supposed to be there. And I've drawn a background to show that behind is a wall.
So for your home drawing, right, the one that you tried yourself, right, I prefer the radio.
The radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you can see, I've drawn a small antenna above it.
Right.
And those buttons I made inside of the buttons to press to switch the radio on and off.
Right.
And those are the buttons